through CPR education and access to AEDs. Nearly 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests that don't happen in hospitals happen in homes. Join me to ensure everyone has the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Visit heart.org/nation.
Car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
It's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Browns again have restructured the contract of quarterback Deshaun Watson in order to get under the salary cap ahead of the start of the NFL's league year on Wednesday. The move creates nearly $36 million in salary cap space. Cleveland's paid out the vast majority of Watson's 5-year, $230 million fully guaranteed contract. He's played just 19 games in 3 seasons in Cleveland due to suspension and injuries. Watson's predicted to miss significant time this upcoming season after tearing his Achilles a second time. NBA, Lakers likely welcome back guard Austin Reeves tonight versus the Knicks when they try and run their winning streak to 8. Reeves out the last 2 games with a calf strain, upgraded to probable. Miami announced today Duke Associate Head Coach Jay Lucas is the new men's basketball coach of the Hurricanes. Source told ESPN he's got a 5-year contract.
Tuscaloosa, we live by the blue-collar basketball motto.
Stepping back, deep three,
Hard work,
2-on-1, driving, stepping through, stop shot, got it to go.
teamwork.
Play the song for the champions of the Southeastern Conference.
Join us for every game right here on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Have you discovered Good Company Cafe? The place for breakfast, brunch, lunch, and so much more. Enjoy brunch all day and pair with one of our many seasonal refreshing drinks, including alcoholic and non-alcoholic options. Choose inside or outside on our gorgeous, spacious, dog-friendly patio. And have some fun with friends playing yard games in the courtyard. See catering, to-go options, and lots more at goodcompany-cafe.com. Good Company Cafe, 7500 South Memorial Parkway.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a 5th-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10+ years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
The best in local sports talk from the 256. We are local.
When you're number one, you don't have to worry.
We are award-winning. Thank you for listening. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You'll be set for life.
Joe Hunk. John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Hello and welcome in, John Abraham, Captain Cool, alongside Joe Hunk here on a beautiful, yet a little bit frisky, a little bit frozen Thursday here on the Blitz. Of course, 2 hours straight of sports talk, and we appreciate you guys for joining us here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as ESPN Winchester. If you are one of our Tennessee friends, which hello to you guys. You're probably just as upset as we are here down south. Of course, we're going to have a few guests on today. It's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, we're going to get a coach on in the form of David Lloyd, talk a little bit of high school football offseason, similar to how we did it last week with Coach Ronnie Watson. And on top of that, Adam Dubbin from Gators Wire is going to hop on with us in the second hour to talk a little bit of Florida Gators baseball. That is all we're going to talk about with him. Nothing else
that may also pertain to what happened inside the state like last night.
No, I don't know what happened. What are you talking about? I don't know any of that stuff. But you know what I do know?
Just asking questions.
No, you just wait.
No,
you know what?
Minds want to know.
You usurped this opening, Joe, and I'm not going to.
Dude, you've already said down south to Winchester, like they're up in Canada or something.
Well, we're a little bit more down south. What do you want me to say?
It's only
we're south of the border.
We're not Mexico. See,
the Alabama-Tennessee border, of course.
That's the state line. You don't call it a border.
You can call it a border.
We're also, I don't know what, is frisky a right word that you use for the cold?
I would say it was frisky. I walked outside and felt a little sassy too.
So how's this weather today? It's feeling frisky.
I thought it was frisky. All right. It was all over me. Regardless of that, Joe, I might, not know. I might not know how to describe the weather outside, but you know what I do know? We have a phone number that you can call in to get in your reactions from yesterday.
How would you describe the weather?
I want to know how you describe the weather. On top of that, we had it was a small yet very impactful day of college basketball within the SEC last night. So I definitely want to get some opinions on that. Of course, Alabama did lose to Florida. This one was in Coleman. I want to know, who was going into this game. I feel like even Alabama was going into this game thinking that, we're not doing too hot. And it just felt like the rhetoric around this team was that, they were just going to kind of crawl into the the postseason because you still have Auburn. And I feel like a lot of people are forgetting that we have a game this Saturday and it's going to be on 97.7 and we're going to be able to listen to this team. And this is the second round of this Auburn-Alabama matchup. And the first one was honestly their best opportunity to win.
Does it not feel like going into that game on Saturday now, like the momentum for both of these teams? Like you wondered the reason why we hyped up that first matchup between the two teams.
Oh my gosh, it feels like it was just yesterday.
Because they were both teams were coming in and we were Alabama's number one. No, Auburn's number one. No, Alabama's number one.
And at that time, Auburn lost to Florida. And then we were like, oh, well, who's going to hold up their side of the bargain right now? It doesn't look like Auburn's going to be that team.
No, we're the best team in the SEC. No, we're the best team in the SEC.
And then it turns out that Florida might be the best team in the SEC. I mean,
they're the second best team. They can only be the second best team.
Let's be honest, though, Joe.
But they're the hottest team actually right now.
They beat they beat Auburn and Alabama
on the road.
And that's why I'm looking at this Florida team. And I feel like a lot of people have been underestimating this team or just they've been under the radar because everybody's been talking about Alabama or Auburn or Tennessee and sometimes even Kentucky. Oh, heck. Oh, why not throw out Texas A&M as well? Why not? But the Gators have been up here this entire time, just, in their swamp. Going like a gator do.
Like a swamp thing.
You don't even see it until it finally jumps out and it bites you. And that's exactly what it did last night in Coleman Coliseum.
You also give up 16 offensive rebounds. Like that has now become that stat that I go to automatically in basketball. How many offensive rebounds did you give up? It just like in football. How many times did you turn the football over? Yeah. How many sacks did you allow? Like that is always like my telling stat whenever I go and look at a basketball game before I even start saying, what did you do well? What did you not do well? Alex Condon, 27 points. He also had 5 offensive rebounds.
That guy was annoying in a good way, though. He was, because this is a very talented kid we're talking about. What is he, Australian? I mean, this guy, the way he's able to do exactly what Alabama wasn't able to do, get in the paint, throw the ball up, let it hit off the backboard into the bucket. I think this player right here is what we wish Grant Nelson was being right now at this point of the season. And granted,
he's also hurt.
He's a little shooketh up from the season. It's been a long one. But still, you wish this is how this team was. And it's not because, Alabama is just, they're not that good. This is still a good team. Being able to hold up against a number 5 ranked Florida Gators team after facing off against Tennessee, after facing off against Kentucky, after facing off against Mizzou. I mean, this is what is happening for this Crimson Tide team. They are talented. We all know this. But the SEC is hard enough. Why jam-packed it with all of the top teams at the end of the schedule? Now I get it. Nobody knew that Missouri was going to be good. I don't think anybody thought that Florida was going to be this good. Okay? And some of these other teams, who knows? Tennessee and Auburn at the end of the season, why not? That's a great way to end off the season, Joe. But the SEC is already hard enough. To finish off like this for Alabama, you had to understand that some losses were coming their way.
What did you want? Oh, did you want them to schedule Alabama against Arkansas at this point in time? Because when the schedule was made, who had just become the head coach for Arkansas? And you're going, oh, well, that's different now. If he's the head coach there, this is going to be a top-ranked team. Like, you can't schedule it based on that. Plus, with the way the SEC is now, you've got a really good chance at most likely playing a team that's going to be ranked. Like, that's just how the SEC is. Like, you can't get upset about the way that the schedule fell because you didn't know Mississippi State was going to be ranked, even though you did get a win there. You didn't know that Florida was going to be ranked. You didn't know Missouri was going to be ranked. Auburn,
nobody knew Missouri was going to be ranked.
No, because Missouri hasn't been good at basketball since they entered the SEC. But you knew Tennessee would be ranked. You knew Auburn would be ranked. Those are the only two that you could probably say, I would most likely bet that these two teams are going to be ranked when we play them at the end of the year.
You definitely put money on it.
It's just part of the way the scheduling is now in this. And I think it was Jimmy Dykes made a great point last night. Alabama, for the remainder of the season, is going to be playing quad one games. Like maybe in the SEC tournament, depending on who they play. Maybe there. The remainder of this, even in the NCAA tournament. Now, like, you don't have, and even there, your first round matchup, that won't be a quad one.
No, that's what it is going to ease off a little bit.
Which is crazy. Well, your schedule gets easier in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
See, I don't even fully know if that's crazy because you're going to get those, especially if you're a high ranked team, whenever it comes to, of course, the March Madness, you are going to have an easy slate. The first two games,
you're going to have a seed that was an automatic qualifier.
It's going to be favorable for you. But for Alabama, for any SEC team, I'll go down the list with it. For Florida, I mean, for even, teams like, I don't know, Texas A&M, they're going to start off against easy teams.
What's really funny is, do you know who Joe Lunardi has Alabama playing in the first round now? As far as their bracketology, they just updated this morning.
Who do let me think because I got the list in
front
of me.
It was updated before the game against
Florida.
I want to double check the time.
Oh. I'm not looking at Joe Lunardi's, I don't believe, but I'm looking at Alabama versus South Alabama.
That's what Lunardi has as well. 2:15 matchup. Now this was before Alabama lost to Florida.
Yeah,
and right now with that game, there's a lot of things that kind of changed. With at least the bracketology, none of that is official. Let me just emphasize that.
Yeah, I got Jerry Palms, so I mean,
a lot of times
people are going to make their own.
A lot of people now have Florida as a 1 seed, and Tennessee has dropped down to the 2 line because of them losing last night to Ole Miss. You also though do have something that is kind of a scientific. There's a math equation with this one, and that is the fact that Florida is going to be the number 2 seed in Nashville next week. You've got Alabama and Tennessee now are kind of flip-flopping when it comes to the 3 and the 4 seed, because if Alabama wins on Saturday and Tennessee also wins, then Alabama is going to be the 3 seed. Tennessee is going to be the 4. If Tennessee wins this weekend and Alabama loses, then Tennessee is the 3. So those are things that are kind of now in place when just talking about the SEC tournament itself. The bracketology, that matter of opinion.
Yeah, well,
with a lot of that.
On top of Alabama's loss, it wasn't just that made it so eventful. We also saw Tennessee lose to Ole Miss.
They did,
and love to know your guys' opinions up north. Up north. I'd love to know those guys' opinions
from that state up north,
up on ESPN Winchester, because you were able to hear this game.
Majority of the states in this country is up north compared to us.
And then on top of that, Oklahoma surprised the Tigers, I guess. Missouri lost that one 96-84. But for Tennessee right now, they're in an opportunity to lose their 1 seed in the national tournament. And of course, we still got to get through the SEC championship, SEC tournament, all of that good stuff. But the way I look at it, Joe, is right now the way Florida's been playing, the way that they've been so consistent, they only have 4 losses on the season. I see Florida as a 1 seed team. I very much do.
No, Florida's playing like a 1 seed. Florida should be a 1 seed. Like
I'm believing that after Tuesday next week, they're going to be up there as and everything's all, caught up. The AP poll, the rankings, the bracketologies, there will be a 1 seed.
Yeah. With the way that they have been playing, not just recently, even
all season, Joe.
They lost at Georgia, but outside of that game, outside of losing at Georgia, that team has been absolutely on fire for the second half of the basketball season, because before losing to Georgia, the last loss that they had was against Tennessee at Tennessee, and that was like over a month and a half ago is when that happened. So there has been a lot of good basketball that has been coming out of Gainesville so far, that I would say that team is deserving of the 1 seed. Now, you then start asking about Houston. Is Houston going to be a team that should be the 1 seed? Now you're starting to kind of get into that, like kind of your opinion versus my opinion versus their opinion. Houston 25-4 right now, but the question is going to come up, because if it comes down to Houston and Tennessee, who should be the number 1 seed or should be a 1 seed, Tennessee's playing in the SEC. Houston is not.
Yeah.
So which conference right now would you justify the 5 losses over justifying Houston's 4 losses?
It's tough too, because we see this stuff in college football as well, and the committee is going to have their own mathematical equations to put everybody in, but they don't want to hold one conference above the other, and at the end of the day, we still have people now saying it just comes out of nowhere. People are saying, "Hey, SEC might just be overrated because they keep losing."
Well,
it's because there's always a winner, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, the math is kind of wild at times, but if you look at the overall record in the SEC, it's at 50% of winners and losers. It's wild. 2 of Houston's losses have come to SEC teams, because they both 2 of them to Auburn and Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So
we own them.
Yeah, I mean, at least the state of Alabama owns them, but they've only lost 1 game in conference. The other loss that they had out of conference was to San Diego State. So,
which is a tournament team.
So you have to weigh, and you have to, with Tennessee. I don't put any stock whatsoever when it comes to the top teams as far as the SEC tournament goes. Like, if you're one of the top 4 teams in the SEC tournament, you could go out and get blown out by 30, and I wouldn't care about you. You shouldn't drop a spot in your seeding in the NCAA tournament.
Well, you got to be able to be a little bit capable of winning.
Yeah, but no, what I'm saying is that the SEC tournament only matters for those teams that are still trying to get in, where every one of their games matter. I think if you're already solidified into the tournament, I don't care what you do in the SEC tournament.
You still don't want to see your team tank. That's for dang sure.
I mean, I would personally love to see the 4 seeds being like, "Hey guys, peace out. The other 12 teams, you guys can just play for this."
Let me be clear. And let me just disappear.
Yeah, exactly. Again, just poof, and you're gone.
Exactly.
I wouldn't even care about it. Florida, Tennessee, Alabama, Auburn. It's not like any of you guys need a win in the tournament to actually be able to improve your stock.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if anything, Tennessee would need 1 win to say, okay, we deserve to be a 1 seed.
Yeah.
That may be it. The rest of it, whatever. Alabama's going to be a 2 seed. And then Tennessee's going to be the one that, are they a 2 or are they a 1? Yeah. Which one are they?
Let's hop into the phone lines real quick before we get into our conversation with David Lloyd from Randolph Raiders football. We got Matt on with us. Matt, how you doing, man?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Doing well, man.
Lurker now, first-time caller on both ZZN and the Havoc Hour.
Let's go.
He was.
I'm excited about it.
No, you should be excited about it. I thought John was going to be celebrating for all of us, so I just kind of let him go on that. So, but no, we definitely appreciate you calling. And before you even get off the line, man, letting you know, you call anytime. Would love having new callers. Absolutely.
All right, sounds good, man. How about them Rebels last night?
They absolutely came out and played against Tennessee. And I'm not gonna lie, because you said you've been listening to the radio station. Literally the phrase I think that we used yesterday is, "What on earth happened to Ole Miss?" Like that team totally wheels fell off.
Yeah.
Doors have fallen off. The basketball program looked like the car and airplanes, trains, and automobiles, or whatever it is.
We say that,
Planes,
but
trains,
they're
and automobiles.
21-9. I mean,
I know. It's just somehow it looked like everything is just falling off, and then they go beat Tennessee at home. It was a fantastic win for them.
I mean, if you're an Ole Miss fan, that's like a regular Tuesday. So I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Look, the opinion outside of Mississippi has been like this team, the momentum on their team has totally died down. And we were trying to sit there and look at it going, what happened to this Ole Miss team? They were highly ranked at one point in time. And then next thing you know, you just kept seeing the losses coming and you're just thinking, what the heck happened?
Yeah. Yeah. Tis the woes of an Ole Miss fan. We look good on paper, and then we just blow it, either shoot ourselves in the foot or just give up a game. And that's true for any sport, honestly. Baseball, football, basketball. Yeah. But like I said, Ole Miss fan, we might not win every game, but we never lost the party.
No, you're right. And also, you also won the offensive rebound contest because Ole Miss had 15 to Tennessee's 8. And that's the reason why I continue to go to that stat, is because a lot of times that offensive rebound stat is so huge when it comes to teams, especially getting the upset over a ranked opponent or winning on the road. But offensive rebounds.
But also, here's the thing. All right, we can have some sad SEC fans from around the conference, but a lot of them are going to be in the tournament. And they're still going to be highly seeded. I mean, there's still a future for a majority of these teams. And, of course, more opportunities with the SEC tournament going down in Nashville.
Yep.
I mean, right now,
absolutely,
Matt, right now, Ole Miss is they're being projected as like a 7 or an 8 seed right now is kind of where they're at. Yep. So, I would probably prefer to be a 7 seed just because that means in my next matchup, I'm going to be going up against a 2 seed instead of going up against a 1 seed as an 8. But again, making in the tournament is the important thing.
Yeah, considering we've been in the other tournament for a very long time, so it's good seeing them getting back into the actual real tournament.
Yeah, the tournament that everybody can get excited about instead of being like, "Hey, we would like for you guys to show up to the arena and act like the NIT is a very big deal."
Yeah, the NIT has kind of been just one of those things where it's like the consolidate.
Yes.
What is it, runner-up bowl?
Yeah,
second runner-up.
That's exactly what it is.
It's like, oh, it's cool they got there, but it's like they're not playing in the real deal. So it's kind of like, yeah, okay, we'll show up.
Yeah, a lot of teams have already fired their head coaches. You've got players that have already entered the portal. Like we should be caring about this one. Like this tournament doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, at that point, it just becomes getting your lower guys reps for next season.
Absolutely. I think the NIT should be treated just like what I say bowl games should be treated as. And that should be focused on the younger players. Just go ahead and start getting them work in good competition so that it gives them something to work for in the offseason.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, we appreciate that call, brother.
Yeah. And you have every right to be excited about Ole Miss winning that game because that was a huge win.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that was a big one. I was expecting Tennessee to come in and just curb stomp us, but it's good to see, the SEC is still the SEC where nothing matters on paper. It's always going to be who shows up, who plays out, and who wants it more.
Yeah,
no doubt about that.
And that was everything. Every bit of that was Ole Miss in that. So thank you for that call, Matt. We appreciate it, man. Because look, it was crazy. Is Ole Miss got outshot by Tennessee on free throws as well as 3-point opportunities, and even if you wanted to look at the overall shooting, Tennessee outdid Ole Miss on every bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem is that Ole Miss from the field was 31 of 68, where Tennessee was 25 of 54, and that made up the difference in this. I mean, even if you go look at the half, Tennessee had a 5-point lead at the half, and then they get outscored in the second half because of the free throw shooting as well as what you saw from the field itself. So perfect reason for you to be able to be celebrating that. We got more phone calls that are coming in. We'll get to those in a little bit. We'll continue taking those as well as we got Coach Lloyd coming up in just a second. Talk a little bit. Let's check in and see what Randolph football has been doing in the offseason as they start going into the warmer weather, spring practice, and everything else. As we keep going on the Blitz on ESPN Winchester, on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as WZZN TV.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
I'm here with Vice President of Mortgage from Bank of Frank Ewing, John Kendall. And John, if you're hearing this commercial right now and you're thinking of getting a new house, boy, oh boy, do you guys have a deal.
We do. It's a grant. $25,000 if you're a veteran, $20,000 if you're not a veteran. This can be used for closing costs, down payment.
Very simple. All you have to do is give Bank of Frank Ewing a call at
256-507-9180.
And how long does this process take?
Oh, it'll take just a few minutes, maybe 15, 30 minutes on the phone. We'll send you a link and you fill that out in your own time. We'll approve you.
Who would not want $25,000 for a new house? John Kendall, give them the phone number and online address one more time.
256-507-9180 or at bankoffrankewing.com.
It's Bank of Frank Ewing giving you $25,000 for a new house. Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green is an FDIC insured bank as well as an equal housing lender.
NMLS number 446707.
Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and I'm here to tell you it's truck month. No payments for 90 days on 24 and 25 models of F-150, Ranger, Maverick, Super Duty, and Lightning. We've got over 220 F-150s for you to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Great deals on Bronco, Bronco Sport, Expedition, and Explorer 2. Come check those out. But right now at Woody Anderson Ford, you can drive a 2024 F-150 XLT Hybrid for as little as $339 a month. $339 for an F-150. That's a 36-month lease with 6448 due at signing, zero security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. This offer ends 3/31/25. Call us at 539-9441 for complete details. Over 220 F-150s and nearly 50 Rangers and Maverick pickups to choose from, all with great sales incentives and zero payments for 90 days. Woody Anderson Ford, we hope to see you soon.
Here in North Alabama, barbecue is a part of what makes our home so special, and great barbecue from Lawler's makes it just that much better. Since 1978, Lawler's has been serving up their delicious barbecued pork, ribs, chicken, ham, and turkey for generations of family get-togethers. Recognized as the best barbecue joint in Alabama for 2 years in a row, Lawler's is thrilled to share their award-winning barbecue for your next family meal or catered event. Order online or stop by any one of their 14 area locations. Lawler's Barbecue, cooked slow, served fast. Conference USA is bringing its premier basketball event back to the Rocket City. Don't miss the 2025 Conference USA Basketball Championships March 11th through the 15th at the VBC Probst Arena, featuring 20 men's and women's basketball teams playing 18 games with CUSA titles and NCAA automatic bids on the line. Find out who's going to be putting on their dancing shoes. Tickets as low as $40. Visit Ticketmaster.com today to experience Conference USA hoops in the Rocket City, March 11th through 15th.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Another chilly night across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Temperatures drop into the mid-30s. A mostly cloudy sky for your Friday. We are going to be a little bit warmer. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid-60s, dropping into the upper 40s, lower 50s as we head into the overnight early into your Saturday. A mostly cloudy sky Saturday afternoon. Some scattered showers are going to be in the forecast, but once again, temperatures climbing into the lower 60s, dropping into the upper 30s, lower 40s through the overnight early Sunday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Thank you. Thank you for making us your number one choice for sports talk in North Alabama.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I'll roll up, I'll roll up, I'll roll up, shorty, I'll roll up, I'll roll up.
not to rub any like salt in the wound, but Florida kind of rolled up yesterday.
Look,
at
I'm
Coleman.
not the one that's upset about this, which, I mean, again,
I've learned in this profession, Joe, at the end of the day, you might have a team, but you got to learn to love them all, except for Auburn and Tennessee.
Oh, screw that.
But in a way, I do end up loving them all because we get to talk to all of these different guys and all these different coaches about their teams, and it's very much a fun time. But before we get into our next conversation, because it is with a team that I very much like, with a coach that I very much like, I would like to remind you guys that this show is presented by the wonderful people over at Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up. And Joe?
Yes.
You remember last week we talked to a coach a little bit about the offseason, and it was a very interesting, in-depth conversation.
Yes, it was.
I think we're going to keep that rolling because all throughout the offseason, we want to snag a coach from a different school, talk about their players, what they're going into, as well as what they do to get ready for the upcoming season. And today, we got Coach David Lloyd on from the Randolph Raiders. Coach, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Trying to stay warm a little bit this morning.
I know. I didn't think we'd have to worry about that after the beautiful 70-degree weather we've had in the past few weeks.
I know, kind of snuck up on us here.
It definitely did. Well, if you've been listening to our show, you've also been able to hear Grace Anello, and she's been telling us all about the weather too.
She tried to
come. So
she tried to warn us about some stuff. I didn't listen, so Joe is sick right now. So next time, whenever she tells me, I'm going to listen. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But Coach, what I want to know is like, how's the off season for you? Because I mean, I know that now with like high school and everything, you stay busy all the time. So, is there really anything quote unquote off season wise that you are focusing on right now, especially with a lot of players in basketball and baseball and all the other sports? Well, basketball wrapped up, but yeah.
I mean, we're fortunate to have a lot of kids who are multi-sport athletes. I think it's one thing our coaching staff across our athletic department does well is sharing athletes and making sure we're all on the same page with filling all the buckets we need to fill in the off season. With basketball wrapping up, a lot of our guys are going into baseball. You've still got track rolling on. Soccer, we got several guys who are on the soccer team. So we've got our speed and our strength stuff going on this off season with Coach Gaunt. He's our director of athletic performance at Randolph. One of the best in the state to do it, man. And he works with our guys. Our guys are in the weight room getting our speed stuff in at least 3 days a week, taking care of stuff there, trying to, like I said, fill those buckets. And man, as coaches, you're not wrong. It's becoming almost like this year-round thing. But we try to make sure that we're giving our guys and our coaching staff as much off time as we can handle, and still be efficient in what we're doing. So our coaches are coaching other sports or they're kind of getting some downtime. This time of the year is when all the coaching clinics and stuff like that are going. So we've been to a few of those in the off season, just trying to prepare for next year and what we're trying to do and get all our schedules together for the summer and next year for the fall season, and looking at the younger guys we've got coming up into the program and looking at position changes and stuff like that. So kind of a lot of logistical stuff you're trying to work through as coaches.
No doubt about that. And you talked about Coach Gaunt. He also, had his son Noah Gaunt on the team as well. And he was a senior, and so were a lot of the big names that we were talking about last year for this team. Any news on where these kids are going and how they're going to continue their careers, whether it's in athletics or, just focusing on a different career?
So William Mitchell, our quarterback, he's committed and he's going to Rhodes.
Sweet.
So he's going to go there, try to further his academic and his athletic career. And the rest of our guys, they had some opportunities to go play at the next level, didn't necessarily fit kind of what they were looking for. So they're going to jump in both feet first academically and get ready to set down on the career path for those guys.
No doubt. And there's nothing against that, because when I was an athlete coming out of college or coming out of high school, that was one thing. I was looking at these offers that were thrown at me. They weren't colleges that I was really excited to go to, nothing that I've thought about in the past. So, to go to a school that you'd rather go to and then kind of jump off from there because that's the way we are with college football now. Is even if they have that thought to get back into the sport, they could start at a smaller school and then just maybe transfer over to something more appealing, at least on the national side of things.
Well, I think that's what you're getting into now, and the whole transfer thing. That's probably a conversation for another day, man. We need a lot more time with that, but that's what they're able to do now. They're able to go to maybe a smaller school, and a year or two in, they're going to transfer somewhere else, and I think it's what I really appreciate about our guys. They're very mature about the decisions they're making. They're not just chasing the dream of trying to play football or trying to play athletics in college. And I think you get a lot of kids that do that. And that's fine, man. If that's what you want to do, go for it. But I think you get a lot of kids that, well, I'm going to play football. So they go to a school that necessarily doesn't fit them and they don't like. And it kind of ruins it a little bit for them. And our kids, I think, are very mature about that decision. And it's what we talk about with our guys all the time. Like, look, man, football could be over tomorrow. You could get hurt and never play tomorrow, never play again. Is the school you're going to, are you going to be okay being just a student at that place for 4 years? If you're not, don't make the decision strictly on football. And our kids do a really good job of that. I think our coaching staff does a great job of that. And our parents are very involved. So I think they're getting a lot of good advice from everywhere just about the decision they got to make that's going to affect the rest of their life.
Yeah, no doubt. That's a good way to look at it. Coach David Lloyd, head coach of the Randolph Raiders, talking with us. And, sometimes these kids, they do go from a high school that has these nice facilities and they end up at a college that, you believe it or not, not as good as facilities. And that can also throw somebody off a little bit. But, Joe, what do you got for him?
Well, no, and I was curious about, we were talking about recruiting and some of the players and where they're going, like with Rhodes and everything. This is really, especially social media wise, Coach, like, this is a whole new avenue of promoting your players and getting all this stuff out. Like, I can even see it like on your Instagram and on Facebook and even on X, is like you guys saying, hey, our players are getting these scholarships. These coaches are coming in and visiting these guys. How much now does that, especially with a smaller school, it just adds another thing on your plate that just is something that's important because it is being able to promote your players?
Well, it's the name of the game now. It's changed so much in the last 5 or 10 years. Used to, you'd have college coaches come on campus, they talk to the coach, and before an offer was made, they talk to the coach to make sure it was something else. And, the expectations for them have changed,
right?
At their level. So they've got to do things a little differently. So now I think a high school coach has really kind of become more the middleman, especially with social media and stuff like that. They're able to connect a lot more directly through things like that. Which I think is great for college coaches, and I think it's great for our players that they're more involved in the process of what it takes to get recruited and see the time and the energy and the effort that goes into it to try to do things to hopefully get a shot at the next level. So I think it's a great thing. It does add a little more, but I mean that's part of the job, man. It's what we got to do. We want to promote our players as much as we can, and our players do a great job of promoting themselves. I said, so, I think there's a lot to be said for that.
Well, and with that, you talking about it's the name of the game and stuff. How do you coaches during these off seasons learn about things like that? Because again, we have to sit here and learn about ways to promote ourselves on social media and all that sort of stuff. And we're not making sure that, 50 or 60 kids are getting in for their workouts or not.
Well, I think what you have is, as coaches, we're the greatest thieves in the world, man. If something works, we're going to steal it. Whether it's X's and O's, offense, defense, or what other teams are doing social media-wise. So a lot of it is you're looking at other programs that are doing a phenomenal job of it, and you're just trying to steal it. Yeah. You're just trying to straight copy it to fit what you're trying to do. And I think we have a lot of great coaches around our state, a lot of great coaches that were in our state that are now somewhere else that are doing a phenomenal job with it. So I think you just try to keep up with the trends as much as you can with something like that. Talk to different coaches that what they're doing, and that's what I love about the coaching community, and social media. Dude, you could reach out to a coach in Iowa today and get all the information he wants to give you. So I think just being connected more with those guys and the ease of sharing information within our coaching community, I think makes it a great resource for any coach to be able to kind of pick that up or up their game in that regard.
Okay, nothing like Connor Stallion stealing, though. I just want to
No, it's
assure
different
everybody
stealing.
of that, different type of that.
No, and if we do that, we don't tell anybody. That's a secret.
Yeah, see, exactly. That's how you keep that. You keep it on the DL so that nobody knows.
Let's not make this a thing.
No, let's not. That would be a whole nother segment we need to talk that we need to save.
Yeah, no Netflix documentaries coming from Randolph without John.
Honestly, that's a little disappointing because that would be something I would watch. But regardless, Coach David Lloyd from Randolph is our guest. And Coach, are you utilizing any of the mountains over there, in Jones Valley for some of this, spring training that you guys got going on over there?
No, not too much, man. I leave all that stuff to Coach John. He's 1,000 times smarter than I am, and all I do is get his way.
Gotcha.
So he handles our speed and strength stuff, man, and he's phenomenal at it. Our guys are working speed 2 or 3 days a week during the weight room, and it's great to see those guys working hard, man. And so we're really excited about our team coming in and looking forward to kind of getting back on the field with them with spring practice.
Well, Coach, another thing we were kind of wanting to do before we get you out of here is we kind of like the community to kind of get to know you just a little bit better. And so we don't want this to always be football questions. So I kind of did, because I do a ton of social media stalking as part of the job now. Again, we're learning different ways. So I found out just through social media stalking that that you have 2 daughters. Is that right?
Yeah, identical twin daughters.
Oh my heavens. Okay, so I have a son that is about to be 7 years old. I have a daughter that is about to be 2, and we're about to welcome our second daughter in at the beginning of May. I need help when it comes to having 2 daughters because I have no clue.
So, first thing is you got to switch to zone defense now because you're outnumbered 3-2.
Crap. Okay.
So man to man doesn't cover it anymore. So thankfully we're at man to man with both of them.
Okay.
And dude, man, it's so cool being a girl's dad. Like I don't know what I would do if I had a son anymore. Just because I've been a girl's dad for so long. So dude, it has been unbelievable. Loved every minute of it, man. They'll keep you on your toes real fast.
Okay.
I used to say I'd probably prefer to have the boy because that's only one boy I've got to worry about. Because now with daughters, I've got to worry about every boy.
Yeah.
It's true.
So, just be prepared for that when it happens. Because that'll set you back a minute right there.
Well, and Coach, here's the thing I'm already kind of struggling with, and I just need to know: do both of your daughters have your wife's attitude? Because my daughter now does have my wife's attitude, and I just need to know if there's a chance this daughter, when she's born, not having that attitude.
Well, I don't know if that's a question I should answer on air. How about this? I'll say both of my daughters get it honestly from me and my wife.
Okay.
There are times where things happen and I'm a little upset about it, but in the back of my mind, I'm a little proud because I'm like, that's my girl right there.
Yeah.
So they get it honestly. So there's nobody to blame but me and my wife for that.
Yeah. Well, you got to think, Joe, they're twins. If they're identical twins, that's a different story from what you got going on.
But trust me, Coach. I mean, again, there's a moment we're in the kitchen and she'll want some Lucky Charms, or she wants some Cheerios, or God bless it, Cheez-Its. And she gives me this look and my wife just starts laughing. And I keep saying, don't laugh. Just because you gave me that exact same look 10 seconds ago for something
100%.
else.
Look, people would mess with me all the time. It's like, man, 2 daughters, Coach. How do you ever get a vote in your house? Guys, you guys thought I had a vote. I've been married for a long time before I had girls. I hadn't had a vote in a while, man.
I know
with stuff like this, but I 100% agree. There's looks one of my daughters will give me, and I was like, that is your mama 100%.
Yep.
And then there's things they'll do that I'm like, I just have to apologize to my wife because I'm like, yeah, that's me 100%. Sorry.
No, that's me with my son. Anytime something like that happens, she'll look at me and she'll say, oh my God, it annoys me. I was like, yeah, because I just did that myself a little while ago. Like he has my attitude. Our daughter has yours. So, yeah.
Well, every now and then the running joke I tell my wife is she's raising 3 children. She's got the 2 daughters and she's got me sometimes. So she's raising all of us.
Yeah. I'm kind of like the oldest brother at times. Like, you know what I'm saying? The oldest then becomes like the helper, where it starts to be like, hey, can you help me out with the others? I feel like I'm kind of that as well. Is that so? Okay, cool. Or at least I know what I'm getting into. So I appreciate that.
100%, man.
Yeah.
Coach, before we get you out of here, talking about the team yet again and going into the upcoming season, what's one thing that you'd like to see improved on from the past season? Of course, it was a good one, but if you don't reach the end, and it's not a perfect one, and even then, it's hard to say it's perfect. But what is something that you want to achieve in this upcoming season?
I think we got to do a better job of developing more depth. We were thin at some places last year and had to kind of shuffle some stuff around if we needed a backup guy somewhere. So I'd like to establish some more depth. And I think we've got some young kids coming up, some rising ninth graders, some sophomores that were freshmen this year that really got to get on the field that are going to help with that. We graduated a lot of guys and played a lot of football for us, and we got a lot of young guys who are going to be first-year starters, but we're super excited about them. I think we got a lot of talent coming back, and now it's just if we can put it together and stay healthy and build the depth we need to build, we feel pretty confident about the successful season that we can have.
Well, Coach, we're very much looking forward to it, and we very much appreciate your time, man. I guess next time we'll see you, unless I come out there and get some pictures of the team, would be this summer at the media days. So I guess we can look forward to that.
Looking forward to it, guys. Man, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for everything y'all do for sports in our area, man. It's a big deal for us. Thank you.
Well, it's a big deal for you guys and us as well. So we appreciate you, and we will talk to you soon enough.
Sounds great. Appreciate it, guys.
All right. See you, Coach.
Good stuff. Coach David Lloyd from the Randolph Raiders. I'm looking forward to media days. I just want to let you know that. All right. We've done it for the last 2 years. It's going on the third year. Honestly, it's crazy how it feels like, it's only been one time. But it usually happens after SEC media days when we get back, and we get, I believe, up to like 20 coaches inside of a building. And we just get to talk to every single one of them, as well as a few players, about their upcoming season. And it just feels like football season already, and it's not even close. But that's why we do it, Joe.
Well, and we got your phone lines are open to you now after getting Coach on. Adam Dubbin's going to be joining us here in just a little bit to talk about the Florida Gators and apparently just baseball, because nothing happened last night, according to said Alabama fan on the show.
And DJ Lagway, how's he improving?
977 ESPN The Zone, ESPN Winchester. The Blitz is also on WCCN TV.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com. When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hey, do you have heating and air issues as the springtime starts to roll around? Hey, there's just one name you need to know: Talent Heating and Air. #1 heating and air business right here in the Tennessee Valley.
Yeah, we're locally based. If you call, you're going to get somebody based in Huntsville. Mentioned in spring earlier, we can actually do indoor air quality products, so we can help alleviate those allergy problems you're having in your house.
All right, Thomas from Talent Heating and Air, give them the number that when they call, somebody live and local will pick up.
That's 256-503-4490.
And you can always head to the World Wide Web and find Talent Heating and Air, and you guys will still respond.
That's talenthvac.com. If you don't want to talk to a person right away, you can fill out a form on there and get scheduled for a visit.
That's Talent Heating and Air. They're live, they're local. It's Talent Heating and Air.
AL certain number 21014.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor at Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Definitely going to be on the cooler end of the spectrum. Temperatures only climbing into the lower 50s across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Temperatures drop into the mid and upper 30s across the area. A little more cloud cover for your Friday, but we are going to be a little bit warmer across the area. We are actually going to climb to seasonal for this time of year. Seeing temperatures climb into the low and mid 60s, only dropping into the upper 40s, lower 50s as we head into the overnight early Saturday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The Havoc Hour with Joe Hunk. Every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Live from Zambruski's Tavern inside the Huntsville Iceplex. Only on YouTube at WZZN TV.
Welcome back in to the Blitz. Just had Coach David Lloyd on with us. Talk a little bit of Randolph Raiders as well as a little bit of life to get to know the coach just a little bit more as we get closer to spring football. And that's always a fun time for high schoolers, especially the ones that are going through it the first time, because you don't get that in middle school. You don't get that. Not the same experience, at least. But all the dust flying up in the air, all the practices that have to get called off because it's 106 degrees outside. I mean, that's what you look forward to, especially after running the stadium in the freezing cold. But either way, we are back and ready to get into a second hour. But before we do that, Joe, we do have a caller on the lines. So let's hop into the phone lines and talk with Noah. How are you doing today, brother?
Hello.
What's up, Noah? How's it going, bro?
Pretty good. Y'all were asking about the favorite backup quarterback. I'm surprised y'all didn't bring up Steve Young.
And I think it's because he played enough afterwards that I keep forgetting about him being that backup quarterback.
He was a legend, dude. Absolutely.
He really does. But also the thing about Steve is that because he stepped into the starter role and he was able to kind of take that step, that we don't think about him as like that backup quarterback, like kind of like the same way that we do like a
Case Keenum,
Taylor or Case Keenum or Jacoby Brissett. Like, they get starts and then it's like, oh yeah, I now see why you're the backup and you're not the starter.
I'll say this. It is a really good callback though. When it comes to like the best backup quarterbacks to ever play the sport, I would say he is definitely at the top of that list. But I would say to have a reliable quarterback at all times at that backup position is a different story. One that I think of is Warren Moon at times. He had to be that backup because he wasn't able to produce the same way as a starter, and he was still able to come back and do that same thing. On top of that, if we're going to college football, we could go to Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa. It's like having a backup quarterback that's able to finish the game at hand when everybody thinks it's over because the main quarterback's out. I think that's the thing that really sets up for a solid backup quarterback. But Steve Young's a great answer, in my opinion.
Yep, and also the coach, I'm sorry, I forget his name, that was just on, he was saying switching from man defense to zone defense.
Yeah.
Me and my daddy actually heard that on Dry Bar Comedy, so I know exactly where he got that from.
Yeah, no, and I have a feeling he's also not wrong on this because
Yes.
It
had me cracking up though. The way he was able to easily just go right into it. I was laughing.
Yeah, the first thing I'm thinking of, Noah, is I'm sitting here thinking about with like the Havoc, you got two skaters dropping back in defense and it's a 3-on-2 breakaway for the offense. And I'm going, oh God, those are always tough. That is no way to be able to be living your life right now, and that's what's about to be my life for the next 18 years.
Yeah. My favorite comedy bit still to this day is Henry Cho, and he says that he got called to the principal's office because the teacher told the kid come up with an Indian name.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, you can keep going because I know what you're about to say, so you can keep going.
And his child had said Chick-fil-A, and the principal asked Henry Cho. He said, "Do you not have any concerns?" Henry said, "Of course I do. Did you time it right?"
Yes, that's all I care about. No, I'm telling you, this is the thing. You talked about your dad. This is the part of being a dad that you seriously sit there and you go, all right, I should be mad about this, but I'm also kind of proud. I'm also really kind of proud at how creative it is. Like with my son, it'll be one of those things where he will say a $5 word, but then I'm going, I should be mad at the fact that you're using that word to say what you're saying, but at the same time, I'm also kind of proud that you used it right.
I think there's a song about that, Joe. I think there is.
I'm also kind of proud that you used that in the right way. I'm actually impressed.
Funny's been watching you, and he thinks that's cool. He's your buckaroo. He wants to be like you.
Yeah, because boy, when he can't have the toy until his nuggets are gone. So yeah, no, you're not wrong about it. And I promise you that what Cho said is exactly what a lot of parents deal with, and especially dads. We should be mad, but we also are kind of impressed. Nope, we're actually more impressed. It kind of makes us feel proud.
On the sports side, also, the free agents in the NFL is quite impressive right now. I think you got 10 all-star wide receivers that's out there. Stephon Diggs, Vontae Adams, Christian Kirk. You got Joe Thuney, who was just traded from the Chiefs, I believe.
Yep.
Tons of stuff.
No,
I agree.
And
a lot of veterans, though.
The problem is going to be we have legal tampering. I think legal tampering happens over the weekend, as a matter of fact, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it does.
So legal tampering is about to start. So now you're going to see where some of these deals are going to be made as well.
You forgot one name, and I think he's one of the best. He is also one of the aged, but Tyler Lockett also.
Tyler Lockett just got released. Yep.
DK Metcalf is looking for a trade as well.
Golly.
Now
It's going to be fun.
On.
It's going to be fun,
But,
man.
I mean, it makes sense. They got JSN.
Yeah.
That is true. He's a little upset about the thing because those three were boys. But no, we appreciate your call, man.
Thanks, bro.
Yep, anytime.
Yeah. And before you ask the question, I always want to emphasize this. Noah's homeschooled, so that's the reason why he can call into the show.
I'm just glad he's listening to us.
And he used everything properly.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Have you discovered Good Company Cafe? The place for breakfast, brunch, lunch, and so much more. Enjoy brunch all day and pair with one of our many seasonal refreshing drinks, including alcoholic and non-alcoholic options. Choose inside or outside on our gorgeous, spacious, dog-friendly patio and have some fun with friends playing yard games in the courtyard. See catering, to-go options, and lots more at goodcompany-cafe.com. Good Company Cafe, 7500 South Memorial Parkway.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports, and it's brought to you by The Good Feet Store. The Good Feet Store, for over 25 years, helping people get back to the life they love without their feet getting in the way. Start your journey at goodfeet.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. On today's edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, we'll be joined by Alabama senior gymnast Corinne Banaghan as we get ready for some final home meets coming up for her and her Alabama career. And Corinne, it is great to see you. Roll Tide. How are you enjoying this senior campaign with Crimson Tide?
I mean, it's been everything I've dreamed of and more. Being a senior feels kind of surreal. It goes by so fast. I can't even explain, but it's been amazing, especially watching this new class of freshmen come in. We have 6 of them, and they are just lightning in a bottle. I mean, they are an incredible group of girls, and watching them succeed is kind of like a full circle moment. I remember my seniors when I was a freshman, and being able to be in that same position that they were and just leading the younger generation and watching them go through their first season as if it was your first season is just truly special.
I'll have more in a moment.
This is Christian Miller for The Good Feet Store. I know from playing football at Alabama and in the NFL that if you have foot, knee, hip, or back pain, it can be a huge challenge. The Good Feet Store is designed to personally fit you with arch supports that alleviate and even eliminate your pain altogether. Try them before you buy them. They're in your free, no obligation, personalized fitting, and you can wear them home the same day. So if you're looking to improve your game, the Good Feet Store has you covered. Stop in for a free, personalized fitting today. Roll to victory at goodfeet.com. That's goodfeet.com. Roll Tide.
Join us this afternoon for Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, streaming live at 2 p.m. Central on all CTSN social media platforms at UA_CTSN. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by The Good Feet Store. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Another chilly night across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Temperatures drop into the mid-30s. A mostly cloudy sky for your Friday. We are going to be a little bit warmer. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid-60s, dropping into the upper 40s, lower 50s as we head into the overnight early into your Saturday. A mostly cloudy sky Saturday afternoon. Some scattered showers are going to be in the forecast, but once again, temperatures climbing into the lower 60s, dropping into the upper 30s, lower 40s through the overnight early Sunday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WCCN TV. Joe Hunk, John Abraham with you on this Wednesday-ish, no, Thursday-ish?
It's Thursday, yeah. It doesn't feel like a Thursday, but it is, in fact, a Thursday.
Well, you know, the whole Havoc Hour thing normally is kind of like that thing that I base the rest of the days off of.
I get that.
Then we had I had lacrosse yesterday, which opened my eyes to a whole new world of things that I didn't even realize was taking place.
Kind of like how Pilates was.
No, nothing like what Pilates was at all. Why would you? Why?
Because that threw my day, my week off. My Pilates class decided to shift times. So.
No, I think it's a little different.
Okay.
No. So I'm only saying that. I'll explain here a second. But also, before we go any further, want to also wish the head coach of the Huntsville Havoc a happy birthday. It is Stuart Steffen's birthday. Absolutely. So congratulations. Happy birthday, coach. Hope you enjoy that. Havoc only on the road for the next couple of weeks as they are playing on the 9th, which is Sunday in Evansville. And then they come back for the 13th and 14th in Pelham against the Birmingham Bulls. It's on the schedule as that. That's the only reason I'm reading it that way. Not saying anything about a rivalry, but just know. And then they are back home for a 5-game homestand.
Interesting.
Yeah, 5-game homestand. Also coming up next week on that game on the 13th and 14th. For the March 13th game, Steve Moulton and I are going to be heading down to Birmingham and driving through there and going to Pelham to do the play-by-play and be on the bench for the Havoc and the Bulls.
You had to add the driving through their part and then to Pelham.
Well, yeah, because you drive through Birmingham.
Yeah.
And then you basically leave Jefferson County.
Yeah.
You go into, and then you honestly, it's more Oak Mountain than anything because in the same parking lot as Oak Mountain Amphitheater.
So could it be called the Oak Mountain Bulls? That just sounds like
OMB?
a high school team.
Yeah,
at this
OMB.
point.
Yeah, because I want to say there is an Oak Mountain High School.
Man, their region area thing is all bull. You know, that's all. It's all bull.
Oh, there's a lot of things that are all bull.
We got the
Trust
chat.
me.
The chat going crazy right now over on WZZ TV. So if you guys want to get involved with that and you are not driving your vehicle, hop over to our YouTube or on X as well as on Facebook, and you're able to watch us as well as listen to us, as well as throw anything you can. And right now, Brandon's talking about this parade that there's going to be going on St. Patrick's Day. I'm Italian. I don't really do St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to be honest. I mean, I drink, I guess, but even that's only a St. Patrick's Day. I guess I celebrate it. Okay.
Okay, so here's the thing.
I'm not wearing green. I'm not going to wear green though, unless I'm wearing this.
I don't understand the point of St. Patrick's Day.
Okay, here we go again. You're just against all holidays.
No, I'm
then.
not against all holidays. I want the holiday to make sense. Why? That's all I'm asking. What is the purpose of it other than to give you a reason to drink at 7 a.m.?
Is it like when the Irish came to town or something like that after the famine?
What is this? Like the circus?
No, they came
and Bailey rolling in on the train.
They came in through New York. All right, Joe. All right, take it back a little history lesson. Whenever they came over after the potato famine, they had to find new lives. I can only say, some of this because John has taught me. So anything that I say that's false, it's my roommate's
okay, so
words. So look it up. What's the definition of St. Patrick's Day?
It says that St. Patrick's Day celebrates the arrival of Christianity in Ireland and the death of St. Patrick. And I will be honest with you, don't know about who St. Patrick was, and the heritage and culture of the Irish.
Was he like the gold holder at the end of the rainbow? Is that who St. Patrick was?
I don't know.
Also, why are we drinking irresponsibly on a holiday that's supposed to be around Christianity? Look, I'm not trying to get religious.
Do you not know a lot of Christians or anything? They drink a lot.
Joe, in the Bible says. It says you're able to drink.
Calm down, Tim Tebow.
Look, you're able to drink. You're not supposed to drink. You're not supposed to drink irresponsibly. All right. A few sips of wine here and there, or the blood of Christ ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah. So no, and that was the truth because Brandon brought this up. I don't know I don't understand the purpose of it. So that's the only thing about it. I've never understood the purpose of St. Patrick's Day.
Brandon knows everything about it.
He was kidnapped and enslaved in Ireland at the age of 16. He escaped to a monastery in France and converted to Christianity. Then he returned to Ireland as a missionary and he died on March 17th.
Roman Britain?
See?
Where's Roman Britain at? I thought it was an Irish holiday. That's where that's at.
It is March 6th, and we're talking about something that's happening in 11 days. I'm just telling you.
We need to make sure people know we need sponsors for the blimp.
Look, I didn't know. I've never understood the whole reason for St. Patrick's Day other than people being like, hey, we're awake. Let's drink. That's it. That's the only thing I've ever known about it.
All I've known is people want to pinch me, and they better back off.
Yeah,
if I'm not wearing green, bro, oh my gosh.
Nothing makes you want to fight somebody more than anybody trying to pinch you because you're not wearing green.
Who's pinching me on another afternoon during the work week?
Okay, so that's St. Patrick's Day that's coming up on the 17th. Okay, so that is I just don't know. Okay. You know what else? Let me check our schedule because is it the 17th also on the way of the tournament as well?
What SEC tournament or
No. That's on a Sunday. That is the Sunday before the NCAA tournament.
So if somebody's pinching me on a Sunday, that's a different story. All right, that's a different story.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Don't have to throw any hands.
256-576.
4.
Thank you. I was like, look, man, I'm seeing you. I'm looking at you.
I'm looking at the chat.
977.
That'll get them in.
As the chat is kind of going crazy right now talking about it.
It's interesting. I'm glad we're learning things today. I also learned a few other things. Scott taught me that you have to put a period before the @ if you want.
Yes.
I didn't know this.
Yes. If you are posting about somebody on X and you want the world to see it, you put a period before that.
I didn't know.
Because you can't do a space. It won't allow you to do that, I don't think. So you've got to put the period. So the period then allows it so that it goes to everybody, not just at the person that you're trying to speak to.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to say
every day,
Coach, David Lloyd is going to be joining us on the Blitz.
No, he already did.
I know, but I'm just saying you wouldn't say at Coach Lloyd it will be joining us this. You have to go period at then the coach, then whoever you're adding.
Period.
Yes, is going to be joining us. Yeah, absolutely. No, that's normally the reason why whenever I do post something, I put like the quote first or something, because I always, that's the reason why I do it that way.
Huh. Yeah. All right. Well, that's pretty interesting.
Just like I learned lacrosse is made up of individuals that are absolutely insane.
Just like I learned that the best roofing and restoration you can get is from Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com. Joe, I want to know more about this lacrosse thing.
Lacrosse, I swear, I really, truly believe that this sport was made up of a bunch of angry individuals that couldn't skate. I really think so, because everything that you can do in hockey, they do in lacrosse, but they amp it up a little bit. I mean, and not to mention, one thing I'm trying to teach my son is to throw using a tennis ball up against the brick wall. Like I'm teaching him that so that he can learn. Wall ball.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I used to play that at the brothers baseball games all the time. That's why I brought this ball into the
right. Well, we're gonna get a wall ball game going. Okay. And so I'm trying to teach him that with a tennis ball. If I gave him a lacrosse ball, I would have to call Fleming Roofing and Restoration, because I promise you throw one of those up on top of the roof, it's going to put a hole in it. I never realized how just tough a lacrosse ball was yesterday.
Dense.
Until yesterday.
Dense is the word, I feel like, for it.
So I'm at John Hunt Park because the game happened over there because of all the rain that came through, and John Hunt Park actually has an artificial surface for their lacrosse field. So that's where they played the game yesterday against Quincy. They did not bring any of their buttered rolls. I was really upset about that.
Or their bone arrows. We have different eyeballs of Quincy's.
God,
apparently.
Mine is so much better.
Mine is no. If you watch Bleach,
so I'm walking up to the press box, or I'm about to walk into the press box, and Quincy was warming up, and one of the lacrosse balls kind of rolled right in front of me. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll grab it and I'll throw it back over. I'd never touched a lacrosse ball in my life. I pick it up and I swear that thing weighed 15 pounds.
That's false, Joe.
I don't really think that it has got to weigh like 15 pounds. And so I throw it back and I start to think to myself, okay, this thing would hurt. No wonder you wear all these pads while you're trying to play the sport. But then I go and and then the game actually starts between UAH and Quincy. And now I look at it and they are swinging their lacrosse sticks, and I mean, just waylaying each other. Like, this is everything that they would have been doing. If this would have been on ice, they would have all been in the penalty box with this.
Well, I got a question for you, Joe. What did you expect the ball to feel like?
I didn't know. I had no idea. I've handled a baseball. I've handled a softball. I've handled a basketball. I've handled a hockey puck. A lacrosse ball and a hockey puck, which one would you think would hurt more coming at you?
Well, I thought about it. Hitting my head. Both of them. I would say the hockey puck, just because it's smaller, and that would make sure like all of that surface tension's going right to one spot, whereas the ball would hit and I'd get a big lump. Okay. Here's the thing though. I'd rather get hit in the head with a baseball than a lacrosse ball. Just because of the density that we're talking about with the lacrosse ball. 256-576 97.7. Which would you
see? This is the
Which
reason
would you
why.
rather get hit
No,
by?
seriously, the lacrosse ball, I feel like a lacrosse ball now would hurt way more than getting hit by a hockey puck. I genuinely do. Plus, if you could see the way that some of these players shoot or throw, whichever way you want to say it, with the lacrosse stick with their net, oh my heavens, that thing's coming at you at like 100 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Like I'm genuinely, these guys are insane. And I mean this in a complimentary way because it makes it so much awesome. But I looked at one of the players that was sitting beside me because he was a scratch for the game. So he was helping us out with a lot of things. And I looked at him and I finally said, how are you guys just not bruised from head to toe after a game? Like, how is that not possible? Because you've got gloves on that have padding on it. You do have like your elbow pads and obviously like a chest protect, like you have like, your shoulder pads and stuff on, just like in football. But then the other side, you have a forearm that doesn't have any padding on it whatsoever. And these guys are waylaying you with the stick. And I'm looking at them just going, how on earth are you guys not seriously just walking around black and blue from everything that takes place in these games?
I know. I feel like they do have to be pretty bruised up. And we got Matthew saying that lacrosse players are hockey players. They used to be hockey players.
Ex-hockey
They're
players.
Ex-hockey players who wanted to play on the grass. And I will say, I've been around some of these UAH lacrosse players. I've got to see them at their best. It was actually whenever they were nationally ranked within D2. These guys talk exactly like hockey players or the guys from Shorzy or whatever that show's called. They are the exact same, just a different font.
Okay, this is saying that a lacrosse ball weighs 5 to 5.25 ounces. That cannot be the case because that cannot be the case at all. Okay, I need to know now, how much does a lacrosse ball weigh in NCAA? See, because your face right now on WZZN TV is telling me the exact same thing that I'm trying to think of right now. There's no way that that's the case.
That's weird. I mean, I don't know if it's heavy or if it's just dense. I think it's more dense than anything. But I mean, obviously it being in a smaller form factor could make it feel a little bit heavier.
All I'm telling you is if you have never seen a lacrosse game in person, these things it is a whole different animal. And it is so much fun to watch. Because this is the one time, like even UAH's helmets, like all the players have helmets on, obviously, especially with the men's. Women's don't wear helmets because their rules are different. But with the men in lacrosse, with the way that sport is played, you could do so much like hockey when you could design the helmets and everything to look so cool. You absolutely could. And also UAH had a player that I want to say scored 7 goals yesterday.
Jeez.
No, seriously. I even looked at the players because, again, I'm learning lacrosse, and I looked over at one of them and I said, is that a lot? Like, is this a normal game? Because this is my first male lacrosse game that I've seen because I've been doing women's lacrosse. And I look over and I go, is this a lot? Like, I'm just curious with this. He goes, yeah, no, this is a lot. He goes 1 to 2 in a game. Okay. But when you start getting into like the 6, 7, 8 goal range, oh, you're having a game. And the player for UAH was having a game.
What do they have? It's not a hat trick. It can't be a hat trick.
No, it can't be a hat trick because there was like 6 players that would have had a hat trick yesterday.
So what do you think they call it in lacrosse?
I don't know. Crossbones? I don't know.
Crossbones. That's really good.
It's just totally
You're
making that up.
You're very close.
What is it called?
I don't have it.
Oh, dude, don't say you're very close. 256-576-977. Let's talk to somebody that was paying a little bit closer attention than anybody else was when it comes to a little of that Florida basketball last night. Yeah, no, we're talking. Yeah,
that's not true. He was enjoying it, but he was enjoying it while also paying attention.
I'm just saying he was okay.
That's the difference here.
We'll ask him how heavy a lacrosse ball is.
Adam Dubbin coming up next.
Gators Wire.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain.
Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too. Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's in the top. She's on the honor roll. She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Listen to UAH Charger basketball all season long.
So when we came out of the timeout, Coach Hedge had initially called a man play, and they ended up faking a zone. So the whole bench was yelling zone, zone, zone. So we tried to switch the play last second. We ended up getting confused. So Tommy swung it to me, and I initially was like, all right, I'm going to try and get to the rim right here. We're only down 2. We don't need a 3. And he flipped his hips real hard, and I crossed it back, and as soon as I let it go, I knew it was in.
Campbell to plug it in. 81-79 Union. Inbounds it goes. Dribbling it out from Tommy Murr. Swings it over to Campbell. Campbell on the wing for the lead. Oh, my God! Blake Campbell! It's a 3! Into the front court for the win! No good! No good! No good! Blake Campbell with some onions from Jackson, Tennessee!
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It all comes back to money.
Visit our store right now at zonedeals.bigdealsmedia.net to take advantage of all the best deals in the Tennessee Valley. Or just go to our website, 977ESPN.com, and click on the Zone Deals logo to start saving right now.
Now, as to the price.
These deals won't last long, so get yours now. Zone Deals. You'll thank us later.
A man who could easily afford to buy a vowel.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people, flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa, starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
But you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Dog, play it, get it. Frog, play it, get it.
Don't forget, coming up at noon today, Tom will be over a little Mexican restaurant we're gonna be enjoying, aren't we?
You think he's going to get me some food?
Yeah, no, he's not going to. Okay. Pete Fabrizio was the player I was talking about from UH lacrosse team yesterday. He had 6 goals, 1 assist, all over 13 shots.
You said Fabrizio?
Fabrizio.
That's an awesome.
Yeah, Pete
very
Fabrizio.
clean name. It's a very clean name.
Out of Roswell, Georgia. He had 6 goals and 1 assist yesterday. in that. I think Wolverine Dan wants to help us out with what that should be called.
Well, I'm not going to be long. I'm being a smart butt, okay? When I say this, you'll hopefully
absolutely
it won't be too derogatory. Well, scoring 7 goals, he's the lacrosse team, right?
Yes, sir.
So when he scores, let's say 3 or more, he's called a cross-dresser.
Oh, my heavens. Going to go ahead and say that that's probably not going to be a good one on that one.
That's pretty good.
I get you. I get you. I'm going to go on a limb and say that that's probably not going to be one that we could use.
What did he say? I was on the phone.
No.
Was I supposed to hit the dump button?
No, you were not supposed to hit the dump button. No, you're not. No,
A for effort.
No,
it was funny.
It was.
Dang it, I missed it.
I don't disagree with you, and it was creative, but going to go ahead and say that's going to be a no. And by the way, Pete Fabrizio's 6 goals actually ties him for the conference lead.
Wow.
For an individual game.
Tell him I apologize. I'm you know what? Sometimes it's good to have a little funny joke.
No, it is. It's what this whole show is.
No, look, I don't disagree with you, Dan. That actually was pretty funny. I was just making sure. Yeah. No, you're good. No, John, you want to hear that? You could just go back on WZZN TV. No, that was no. You can't go back, just like Alabama can't go back and replay that game from last night.
Golly, you're just hitting me right now.
Look,
you hit me when I'm down.
It's just the truth.
It's understandable. No, it is true. It was not. I will say this. It was a great game at the end of the day. From both sides, if you're looking at it from a neutral fan, if you're looking at this from a Florida perspective, then this is a wonderful matchup because now it's getting you into a pretty high seed, even though they were already kind of there, going into the postseason. And to help us talk a little bit more about this victory, as well as some baseball, we'll probably get into some baseball, is one Mr. Adam Dubman from Gators Wire. Adam, how you doing today, man?
Hey, y'all. I'm doing all right. I want to say real quick, though, this Fabrizio person, they've got some serious NIL potential there with that surname.
Right?
What could go with that?
Right? No, look, and I'm thinking about it because UAH just launched like their NIL merch. They actually have like an Instagram feed and all this stuff for it where you can buy merch of certain players. Like, come on, that is a layup, right?
Seriously, clean the field with Fabrizio.
Which is kind of what he does when he's on the offensive zone. I'm telling you, man, literally, he took, I think, 15 shots is what I said, and he had 6 goals, which is now for the conference lead. Every single time I looked up, it was Fabrizio with another goal.
How about Fabrizio Airlines? What about that one? Because we got Breeze here. Okay.
We do. Yeah, but we like good airlines. So that would not be...
That's Spirit. That is Spirit.
Spirit Airlines. My bad.
Don't dog on Breeze, man.
No, it's Spirit. My bad.
Don't get us to Nashville. No. We had to get there quick for the tournament.
Yeah. But again, we're talking. I don't think that Florida, on the other hand, is having any issues as far as what's happening with them on the court. But let me ask you, man, because I'm telling you, this win is big. But before we even get into that, how hot has this team been for like the last month and a half?
I mean, if you take out that Georgia loss, we've been on fire. And even with that Georgia loss, they came back from 26 points down to actually take the lead in the final minutes, only to, not pull it off in the end. But yeah, this team is, hitting, for all intents and purposes, on all cylinders. One of the things that's really interesting about this run is that there have been a lot of injuries along the way. We saw Clayton go down. We saw Martin go down. We saw Condon go down. We saw Martin go down again last night. Sam Alexis has been out. And so what we've really seen over this last several weeks is that this Gators team is a lot more deep than most people thought, myself included. Yeah. I didn't really think that the bench would be able to really fulfill the next man up attitude like it has.
Yeah, and they definitely didn't have, at least going into the season, they didn't have those names like the Mark Sears or the Zakai Zieglers or, the Jonai Brooms. Like, those are the guys that we hear of so much throughout the season. But, I mean, last night we got, Alabama got shut down by a guy named Alex Condon. Talk a little about him because he helped throughout this game as well as throughout the majority of the season to really keep this Gators team on top.
Yeah, Condon's just an exciting player. The guy he's hard-nosed. If you don't know much about him, he actually has a background in a lot of different sports, including Aussie rules, football, and water polo, my sport.
Is that Australian background?
And so this guy, he's a bruiser. He's a bad mofo. And, he got his teeth knocked in, and he came right back in and put up points. Dropping doubles like it's nothing. This guy he's something else, and he's definitely the heart and soul of the front court of this team right now.
Yeah, you could definitely tell the way he was able to get into the paint. He was able to make those layups and of course, be physical with it. I don't look at this Florida Gators team like they're the most physical, but I will say this, their defense has, it's pretty solid at times. I mean, we saw what they did earlier against Tennessee, but then I think a lot of people, started trying to look past this Gators team once Tennessee got the best of them and held them to 44. But from that game on, it's looked like a totally different team, a totally secure team. Obviously, there have been the injuries, but it hasn't really slowed them down. Talk about what coach is doing to keep this team push it all throughout the season as well as into the post.
Well, Todd Golden came in as, an analytics guru. So he brought a very, modern approach to the game with him. And, he's taken a few years for things to, settle in and, some luck in the transfer portal. But he's definitely the mastermind of what we're seeing right now. This is all Todd Golden. He's got his players buying into his system. Talking about defense, one of the things I've seen improve that really has made the biggest difference, in my opinion, is perimeter defense. Earlier in the season, a team could really, get under our skin by just raining down threes. And if you're making them at a high clip, it's difficult for the Gators to mentally stay in the game. We've seen this team sort of, falter at times and go through some stretches where, it's difficult for them to score some points, interestingly. And if the other team is raining down threes, then, they can get stuck with a big deficit like they did against Georgia. But for the most part, what I've seen is just a better coverage. The guys are just getting out into the face of the shooter a lot quicker. Rotations are a lot more crisp. It could really just be one of those things where the team just needed more time to gel, especially given that, there's a few members of this team weren't with them for the run last year at the end of the season and in the SEC tournament. So this just could be one of those things that everything's coming together at the right time.
Exactly. Adam Dubbin from Gators Wire is our guest, and you talk about, 3-pointers kind of being that kryptonite for this team. Well, that wasn't a problem last night because, frankly, it looked like the Tide just could not hit those types of shots. And for Florida, it wasn't that different, but talk about what this offense does, right. Even if it's not the 3-pointers, what is this team doing to keep up in a lot of these games?
Offensive rebounds, man. When you can dominate the boards, you can afford to miss a few shots. I mean, you can afford to take a riskier shot. So, when you talk about shooting a 3-pointer versus, taking a shot in the paint, 3-pointers are obviously going to be a lower percentage shot. But if you've got guys down there who are ready to grab that ball right off the rim, right off the backboard, that's a chance that you can take. That's a gamble that is now has a higher percentage of success. And these are the odds that Golden is playing with. And so when we've got 7'1" hand blocking down there, or got Alex Condon, or Thomas Haw is a rebounding hog. We've got a lot of guys that just munch it up down there. And so, that's a really important aspect of this game. And if you've watched some of the previous games where, the Gators have had some issues, it's often been with teams that have been able to get the defensive rebounds instead of letting the Gators grab those O rebounds. So, that's a big difference maker too. And I think it's pretty obvious, they're one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the nation. So kind of goes without saying.
Adam Dubbin joining us from Gators Wire. You can follow him on X at Adam Dubbin. And Florida has Ole Miss coming up this weekend. Is everything purely about trying to keep that potential spot in the 1 seed for Florida? What is the advantage of going into this one, or is it going to be more of a you've locked your SEC standings up, you pretty much know kind of where you're going to be, let's start focusing on the tournament?
When you're one of the best teams in the country, you can't afford to just sit back and say, we're just going to, we're just going to go 70, 80% this time. You've got to go 100% every time out. My concern right now is whether or not Elijah Martin will play, and there hasn't been any word on the injuries that he sustained last night yet. And Todd Golden will probably speak to the media tomorrow and fill us in on what's going on there. But there's a chance he might have to sit just to make sure that he's ready for the tournament. But I don't see. I see Todd Golden going into this game the same as he goes into an Auburn game or an Alabama game or a Tennessee game. And playing at home in front of the home crowd, senior day, senior night. This isn't the time to empty the bench. They're gonna be going hard.
Yeah, and I noticed last night, of course, it was Alabama's senior day, and for Florida, I mean, they were playing like it was theirs. The amount of momentum dunks, I said it, it could have been anywhere. This game could have been held anywhere. And honestly, the outcome would have been possibly even worse than the one last night. It just looked like Alabama was not fully recovered from their previous losses. I mean, this month has been a tough one for them, but I mean, it's just the SEC. At the end of the day, it's the SEC. And when we look towards the tournament, of course, the SEC tournament going into the national tournament, a lot of people have been hyping up this conference. I want to know, how many teams are you thinking are going to at least get to the Sweet 16?
I mean, Auburn, Florida, Tennessee, Texas A&M, all these teams have the ability to do it. And that would be one quarter of the Sweet 16. That's a pretty good representation. The Kentucky is always there, ready to make a run. They've been, off this season, but that's one of those programs that, you never really know. Maybe they've got an extra gear in them. Missouri, Missouri beat Florida at home.
Yeah.
Earlier in the year.
Wow.
So I wouldn't count Missouri out. They could be I wouldn't call them Cinderella, but I'll call them an underdog, a potential Sweet 16 candidate. So yeah, 4 to 6 teams easily. But then again, things get really wild when it's a single elimination tournament.
You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. Because I had my buddy, he straight up was telling me, I think Auburn's going to win it all. I said, I mean, that's the easy answer right there, because they are number one. But when you think about March Madness, nothing is as simple as it seems. Never is. But wonderful basketball.
I will say though, for Auburn's case, they are 15-3 in quad one games, according to the net ranking. They played more quad one games than Duke has played quad 1 and 2 combined.
It's crazy.
So I mean, and Duke is number one team in the net, interestingly enough. I've got a lot of respect for Auburn. I don't like Auburn as a Florida fan, but I respect Auburn, and Bruce Pearl is once again doing an amazing job there. So it's if I were a betting man, I'd probably put money on them.
Yeah.
But again, like we both said, once you get into the shuffle of the tournament, you never really know what's going to happen.
Yeah. No doubt about that. And with UConn kind of out of the picture, oh, geez, it's fair game for everybody. Joe.
No, and now I want to ask you about the other sport that Florida is really good at, because, for basketball, we were expecting them to be decent. I don't think it was like, they're going to be one of the best teams in the country. With baseball, though, we kind of do figure that. Historically, you always assume Florida's going to be one of the best teams in the country. They're number 7 in the country right now. I know that they're 12-2 on the year. You guys are getting ready to host Harvard before you kind of get into some really big games with Florida State and Tennessee. How do you feel like this baseball team is kind of done getting used to and ready for SEC conference play that's about to start?
I mean, we're doing a much better job than we did last season, getting off to a strong start. That's for sure. So, we went 11-0, and then we lost to in-state rivals, right? One to Miami, one to UCF. Mm-hmm. Both good programs. Like, there's nothing to get upset about losing to them. But, it was a wake-up call. We had some pitchers who got shelled, and our offense kind of disappeared a little bit. But as a whole, things are looking really solid. And I feel very confident in this team, that the SEC is going to be, a tough grind again this year. I don't think we're going to finish at the top of the standing. But, we should do well enough to, host a regional, and I have every reason to believe we're going to be better than last year when I'm not even sure we deserve to be accepted into the tournament, but we did, and we went far. But on paper, we didn't. This year, I feel like we're definitely proving ourselves better.
Well, and I was curious too, because you guys have a catcher. I want to say with Brody, did he start the season off with like 4 straight games with home runs? What was that? Because I saw him just mashing at the very beginning of the season.
Yeah, it was something like that. It was, I actually went and saw a couple of those games in person against Air Force.
Yes.
And he launched them. He took Air Force for a ride in their own jet, and it was great. It's great to see in the opening weekend, see a young guy, get off to a hot start, and the team really needs something like that. But it's it's not just Brody. We've got I mentioned the last time we talked. It was going to be important that some of the freshmen step up. And this Brendan Lawson, this young man, he's done a great job. He earned a Freshman of the Week. He's batting .347 with a 103.9 OPS. The dude's just raking. And then you got Colby Shelton and Cade Curlin, who are the usual suspects who help carry the offense. And Blake Sear, who's a former Miami transfer, is also off to a strong start. So when we talk about the offense, they're doing really, really well. Switching over to the pitching, last time we talked, I noted that Pierce Coppola was the guy to be watching out for. And through 12 and 2/3 innings, he's got 23 strikeouts. So he's leading the team right now in strikeouts per. And as well as he's only allowed 4 hits. Interestingly, they've all been extra base hits, a double, 2 triples, and a dinger. But he's still only allowing an 0.98 batting average against. So he has definitely stepped up like I expected. Liam Peterson is, the de facto ace of the staff, and he's done well. Also, 1.13 ERA. He also has 23 strikeouts, but it took him 16 frames to pull that off. But still, 145 batting average against. He's a tough nut to crack for the opposing team.
I was also curious because I haven't been keeping up with like stolen base stats or anything like that for all the SEC teams, but Florida's only been thrown out 3 times. They've stolen 30 bases on 33 attempts. You've got multiple guys that have at least 5 or 4 stolen bases. Is that part of the identity for this team and what it's going to be? Is the speed on the bases?
So another thing I mentioned last time we talked was how O'Sullivan tends to use these non-conference games to figure out what he's going to do against the conference.
Mm-hmm.
So you might be sort of looking into a crystal ball here by checking those stats out. Will this be an identifying, characteristic of the Florida Gators baseball team? And it could very well be. The aggression early on is definitely something that we would expect to see from a Gators, team, as O'Sullivan is going to be trying to see what works and what doesn't. And it looks like it is working. So I would expect to continue seeing the Gators, being aggressive on the base pass. And I would expect that not to just be at stolen bases, but probably also, stretching singles and doubles and triples, etc. There is some speed out there. So this could be an identifying trait for this team.
Yeah, no, I think it's really interesting to kind of see how they're evolving into that, because there's only 2 other teams in the SEC right now that have stolen more bases than they have. I think it's Oklahoma and Kentucky, which they both have, I think, 33 stolen bases. So that's always something I pay attention to with speed, because that's so easy to get a single and then turn that into getting a man in scoring position. Next thing you know, a pitcher's whole philosophy on what they're doing against the batter changes because of the guy who's standing now behind them. So that's why I was like, if this is a speed thing, then that's something that can definitely translate into regionals, super regionals, and a College World Series.
Absolutely. It's the cornerstone to station-to-station baseball. Yep. You got speed, obviously you want to get those extra base hits and the dingers, throw them over the wall, but if you can grind out those runs too, that's a great balance to have.
Well, Adam, it's always great having you on, man. You get us up to date on all things Florida Gators as well as just Florida athletics. So let the people know where they can find you to keep up with all things Gators as well.
Yep. So yeah, you can find us on the old Twitters at Gators Wire. You can find us at Blue Sky at the same address, and of course, you can just Google Gators Wire and find our website itself quite easily. We are like I said, we're covering this baseball pretty hard of this season. So be sure to check us if you're interested in seeing what Florida is up to. Plus we've got March Madness, and then of course the NFL draft. So this is one of the funnest times of the year for sports fans.
Well, it's one of them.
Yeah.
One of them. It's not football season, but it's one of them. There's just so much going on, man, and we very much appreciate you hopping on. But I look forward to those DJ Lagway questions later on in the fall. So
I look forward to them as well.
All right, good stuff, man. Always appreciate you.
Yep. Take care, y'all.
See you, sir.
Adam Dubbin. I love getting him on. Man will throw out all the knowledge, and he'll talk for 7 hours if we wanted to.
He
and
took
I would.
Air Force on for a ride on their own jet. He was literally throwing out all these little one-liners, and they were hilarious.
You wouldn't expect it. It just kind of came out of nowhere. But
yeah.
Either way, cross-dresser. That was. I don't care. I saw that in the chat.
Yeah.
So that's what Natty Dan said. Okay.
By the way, DJ Lagway will be limited in spring practice.
Damn it.
Tennessee just announced that their spring game isn't even going to be televised.
Nah.
Just letting you know. That's what we're on. And you wonder why I'm not even paying attention to it.
Too busy watching basketball and the Big South.
Well, and the baseball team that's number 1 in the country.
The Big South Conference tournament. We got the High Point Panthers, baby. I'm excited to watch these guys play.
All right, let's wrap this up as we will be on a Thursday SEC women's tournament going on. We'll get you an update on what's happening as we got a rivalry happening on the court right now in Greenville. And you also have Alabama basketball tonight to look forward to. We'll let you know when we come back on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
We aren't a winning school. We are a championship school, and we make legends. Join the Crimson Tide as they look to continue to rise to the top of the NCAA basketball mountain on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Can't get a ticket? Never miss a second of Huntsville Havoc hockey.
Gives it to Alger. Alger back to Ruffin. Over to Buster. Who are you going to call? Buster Larson with the winner.
With the Havoc Zone. Only on 97.7 ESPN.com and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
Final segment of best segments. 97.7 ESPN The Zone, WCCN TV, where the phone lines are open to you. 256-576-4977 as John was munching on something.
It was a granola bar.
Oh, it was a granola bar,
I
yeah.
got groceries yesterday. Now I got snacks galore. Favorite snack go-to? Go. What?
Well, I actually have peanut butter pretzels in the bag right now, so that is going to be
the classic dad snack right there.
Well, no, it's you know what it is? I base everything on 1, them not being Cheez-Its, and 2, can my son nibble on them while also playing PlayStation?
That's good. Yeah,
because Cheez-Its, Doritos,
a little greasy.
They greasy, and they also like Cheetos powder. You don't, I don't want them on the controllers.
Yeah.
So Nilla wafers, peanut butter pretzels, those things he can grab and keep going as he's playing. So it doesn't mess up my controller, which are just as expensive as the video games are now.
It's crazy how it is like that.
Yeah, they're like $75 for a new controller. So I want to keep them as long as possible.
I break all mine on accident.
I used to break all of mine on purpose whenever I'd get mad because I'd lose a game.
You and my brother would really get mad playing video games together.
Probably a few people that are listening right now that have numerous stories about my anger management issues with video games.
Okay.
Yeah, at one point in time, they actually kept one of the controllers. They went and got like a gallon bag. They kept the controller and they put it in my closet. And anytime that I was starting to lose, they would pull the controller out as a reminder.
Oh, that's good.
Hey, this is what happened. You also cost us all from not being able to play by breaking the controller. Let's not do this.
I would what I would do for you to fix that problem, which it's already fixed.
I did. Yeah, it's called Adderall.
Yeah. I would get a Lego set that makes a controller. I'm pretty sure actually Mega Constructs, which used to be Mega Bloks, has an Xbox 360 that you can make with the controller.
Yeah.
I'd make that thing, and then every time you get pissed, you don't destroy the console you got, but you turn to your right, grab this Lego Xbox 360 and just slam it. And then you got to make it again. So then you learn from it a little bit.
Oh,
Joe.
No, trust me. It's going to happen because the new WWE game drops tonight.
Oh my gosh.
And I promise you.
It's going to make you rage?
It does when we start going head to head. Well, if we go head to head on this, it gets serious. It gets very serious.
Okay. Well,
yes.
We could also have like a Call of Duty game in here where it's like my Xbox is connected to that, your PlayStation's connected to that, so there's no screen cheating, you know?
That would be true.
That'd be a great idea. Joe, remember the other day whenever I brought up the Demon Slayer
Yes.
MLB collab we got going on?
No, I do remember you bringing this up because when you brought it up, because this was, I believe, during the point in time where we were also talking about Kalen DeBoer and his jacket / sweatshirt that he was wearing during Alabama's spring practice, where I will let you know over 95% of the people that voted on our poll on 97.7 says that a hoodie is not a jacket.
You said over 90 or 99?
95%. And the only reason it wasn't more is because there were 1 or 2 people that actually voted for it being a jacket. But I thought it was during this conversation.
Those people will have a room in my safe house during the apocalypse. But Joe, Demon Slayer MLB collab video came out.
Yes.
Have you watched it?
No.
I'm going to show it to you afterwards. Okay. We do have Josh on the phone line. So Josh, how you doing today, brother?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
Doing good, bro. How about you?
Good, good. I was trying to get in real quick. I took a late lunch, so I was trying to hop in before y'all got off the air. But I am right there with you as far as the throwing controller thing. I broke many of controllers doing that. And secondly, I just wanted to say, what is going on with our boys, Alabama and Auburn? I'm not much of a betting man, but I lost $400 in 2 nights betting on both of them.
Ooh. Okay, so
they're killing me. They're killing me.
Like, I'll tell you, I'll be honest. If you would have asked me before you made the bet on Auburn, I would have told you not to bet on Auburn against Texas A&M. I would have told you.
I was a little bit nervous about that one because it was at Texas A&M and they are good. And I was nervous, but I just felt like Auburn had, they would pull it out.
Yep.
But I felt like Bama was going to, take it no problem. But, I mean, both of them, man. And, like I said, I'm not much of a betting man, but $400 down the drain.
You're enough of a betting man, yeah.
It would have won me $1,400, but, hey. It is what it is.
God, that's hurt my heart.
Hopefully, if you're listening to the show, we can give you some better lines to get into.
Yeah, no, thank you. Look,
hey, y'all know I always listen to y'all.
We appreciate it, bro. Thank you. Yeah, the only reason I wouldn't have bet on Auburn in that game is just because they're coming off the championship, coming off the regular season championship win. They're on the road. I would have been like, nah, they're punting on this.
Yeah, Texas A&M, again, a little back and forth, but at the same time, you are right. In Alabama, Florida, they've been struggling. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
The Drive.
Both those guys have done a good job in what we